The champagne industry is heavily regulated. The grapes must be locally grown in the Champagne region of France. They can only use 3 types of grapes: black Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, or white Chardonnay to produce champagne. Additional rules regulate how the grapes can be pruned, picked, pressed, fermented, and aged. Workers harvest the grapes in mid-September. They use aerated crates to transfer the crops to a grape press. They crush the grapes and immediately filter the juice. The grape skins and pulp can alter the juice's flavor, so they have to be removed quickly. Vintage champagne is fermented in old oak barrels. They use a sulfur disc to disinfect the barrels between uses. First, a worker lights the disc and inserts it through a hole on the side. The flame goes out once it's sealed inside the barrel. The sulfur smoke fills the barrel and kills off any bacteria. Non-vintage champagnes are produced in these stainless steel tanks. They start the fermentation process by adding yeast to the grape juice. In about 10 days, the yeast turns the sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide gas. The alcohol level of the wine is now about 10.5%. There are no bubbles yet because the CO2 escaped through the top of the tank. Each fermentation barrel and tank is labeled based on where the juice inside originated. The grape juices from each village have distinctive tastes caused by differences in soil composition and sun exposure. Blending begins after the first fermentation. The winery's experts experiment with different combinations until they find the taste and aroma they're looking for. They bottle the mixture with yeast and sugar and place it in a cold, damp cellar for 5 weeks. This second fermentation raises the alcohol content to 12.5%. After fermentation, they lie the bottles down horizontally and let the champagne age for up to 10 years. After the aging, the bottles go into a machine that freezes the neck. The yeast residue freezes in a small ice cube under the cork. The carbon dioxide isn't vented during the second fermentation. When workers open each bottle, the gas pressure ejects the ice cube. This procedure is called disgorging. A worker turns the bottle to minimize the amount of champagne that escapes. Then he smells it to make sure the champagne hasn't spoiled. The winery makes a special liqueur out of wine and cane sugar, which they add to the champagne. The amount of liqueur added brings the champagne to one of 3 sweetness levels, known as Brut, Sec, or Demi-Sec. The filling machine secures the new cork with the wire cap. The next machine rotates the bottles to mix in the liqueur. Then the bottles go back into the cellar for at least 3 months. After they come out of the cellar, the bottles go through an automated washing machine. A worker inspects every bottle for floating cork particles or flaws in the glass. The labeling machine's first station places gold foil over the neck. The foil label bears the winery's name. The second station fires a shot of compressed air to mold the foil to the shape of the cork. The third station glues on the neck label. It's made of varnished paper. Then the last station applies an adhesive label to the front of the bottle. A scanner makes sure the foil and labels are in the correct place. This bottle of champagne is finally ready to drink.